Hi, this is Dave, and welcome to Moonride, where we're channeling the man in the moon. Today, I'm very interested to know about John Kelly. Just want to know what he's thinking, what he's doing, and maybe what he's going to do. Let's take a look. Well, John Kelly is certainly no fan of the president. He's looking very annoyed and irritated. Like, it's one of those situations where, like, John Kelly hates him so much. It's just like, almost, if I could get away with killing him, I would. That's how much he just absolutely loathes that person. Now, I want everybody to know that, Dave Johnson's opinion of John Kelly isn't the highest, and I'm not saying that he's intentionally going to do this, but I want you to know that Kelly just loathes this man. Um, and he does consider Trump to be a very dangerous person. Yeah, he also considered him like to be very low class. He's just kind of envisions Trump eating the hamburger. He's just kind of a fat, hamburger eating um, person. He especially dislikes the way that he treats his wife. So there is even among dark people there is some honor, and he does not respect the way that he treats his wife. So let's see, what is John Kelly going to do? Well, he's going to have a good deal to say after the Trump presidency. He's planning. I see him writing. So I don't know if he's going to write a book or co-write a book or something, or maybe write some articles. But he has no problem writing what the truth is. How soon could we expect the spirit? Within 6 months, he will write something, and he will make it clear what kind of a man Trump is. And he, in terms of politics, knows as much as anyone about what Trump did in the White House over the past year or so. What else? Can you tell me anything else? What is John Kelly's? Is John Kelly going to leave? I should say when. Month and a half. I'm getting. He will leave. Uh, and I see him like almost like closing the door. I'm not necessarily certain there will be a replacement for him. If there is a replacement for him, it won't be a very good replacement, and he doesn't care. He's pretty much like, yeah, you're on your own, guys. And good riddance to bad rubbish. I have no problem with you guys going down. And he knows that's what's going to happen when he's gone. He's like, it's just going to be absolute chaos. It already is chaos. It's going to get worse, and he's pretty much had it. He's pretty much like, this president deserves it. He has a moral, maybe, duty or civil duty to try to keep chaos. We might argue whether it's right or wrong, but he feels that he has a duty to last X amount of time, and then he is done. He would leave right now if he could, but he has made promises to people to keep an eye out, and that's what he is willing to do. He does think that it is important to live up to at least his promises, and that's what he's going to do. So, but once he's done, he's given him a month and a half. He's like, "Hey, I promised you. I told you I'd leave. That's that. You want to find a replacement? That's up to you." Will there be a replacement? Period. A laughable one. Actually, John Kelly is laughing at the man that they put in his place. Is it a man or a woman? It might be a woman even. But whoever it is laughable, right? Sometimes Trump likes to surround himself with women who are there to sort of, be attractive and coo. That's how they get their. That's his relationship with women is when they coo, maybe he gives them something, right? And he might just actually pick a woman because he considers them weak, and he will find a woman who will, just let him run roughshod, and that's the last thing that he should need or want. But anybody he would pick, man or woman, would be just a eye-batting kind of, okay, whatever you want kind of person, which is not a chief of staff. It's just an ornament. So, who do we have an idea who it'll be? I think it's not certain who it will be. I think they really have no idea who it will be, and that is in the White House. They have absolutely no clue. And of course, Trump is so arrogant that he's like, "Oh well, I'll just do it on my own. I'll just wing it. It's always good when I do it." So he is really quite deluded. Okay, so what are you going to tell the public, John Kelly, when you talk? I just keep getting everything. I'm going to say everything. I'm going to say the truth about everything to anybody who will listen to me. It's almost like he's saying, if I'm not there, I can't control what will happen to the planet, and you should get rid of him, because if I'm not there, he really will do something crazy. And I'll do everything in my power to get him out of there once I am out of there. So what, for example, will you tell us? It's kind of funny because he's kind of looking bored. Like, dude, what would I not tell you? Like, well, how much time do you got then for me to tell you? It's almost like he's saying everything's true. Everything that Trump is being accused of is true, and I know it, and I have details to prove it, and I will back up anybody, Comey, I can back all that stuff up with facts and eyewitness accounts. Oh, I think that he's been taking notes. I think that John Kelly has been taking notes of what happens as he goes along. So one portion of what he's doing is also he's there to keep tabs on Trump and to report on him, and he's fine with that. He's like, I got no problems with that. It's for the I am patriotic. It's for the state of my nation, and that's that. It's interesting. It's almost like his true heroic moment. I don't think that John Kelly was ever a hero. But at this moment, he actually is going against what he is trained to do and what he is trained to be, and kind of saying, "I don't care how awful I will be treated after this. I'm going to say the truth for the sake of the nation." And again, he's looking very bored. He's just like, I could tell you stories. You can't even believe the volume of information that I have. Except that you watch Trump on TV, you see what happens, what he says. Multiply that by 10,000. He really is like that on a daily basis with every person that he meets. So it's like there is no limit to how much material there is in him. Well, let's just ask. Do you have proof of collusion? Yep. Can you tell us a little bit more about the proof? He's showing me paperwork. He has some paperwork about it. It doesn't look like his notes. It looks like some paperwork that he's saved, maybe stashed in a drawer someplace. That is evidence. Have you given this to Mueller? Of course he has. He's like, of course I gave it to Mueller. Right? Of course. I recognize the danger here. And what else? Is there other... have you got proof of, obstruction? He's like, yeah, this much proof. And is it written? Wow, I'm thinking it's entirely possible that not only is it written, but he might have made a recording. I'm seeing a recording device. It's one of those little mini tape recorders that you can hide in your pocket. I'm seeing a recording device, and it's like in the Oval Office. So he had a meeting and he recorded what he said. Wow. And it's almost like this is backup. This is the sort of thing that I would release when it becomes an absolute emergency, like we're about to go to a war because Trump's done his things. I've got this recording just in case. And, there's a lot of ethical questions about recording his boss as a president, but he says there are greater ethical concerns here, like the survival of the planet. And I'm going to make sure that, at the very least, our planet doesn't get destroyed. I mean, that's my job as an ethical person, insofar as he is ethical. So let us ask, maybe you can tell us, Mr. Kelly, what do you think's going to happen after a year and a half? What's going to happen? All over the place. Yeah, it's going to be all over the place. He's just showing me, actually, my childhood backyard, and he keeps moving from here to here to here to here to here. It's like you can't even control where he is. It'll be just like whiplash, trying to figure out what the president's going to do next. And it's going to spiral. So it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. He's going to go crazier and crazier and crazier. There's going to be more and more and more chaos surrounding him. Is this going to have negative effects on the American people? He's shaking his head. No. It's going to show us who many people already know who he really is, but it's going to make it for people who were kind of maybe partly Trump supporters, they're not sure about that, even some diehards, it's going to become really obvious who Trump is, and it's actually going to serve us. The chaos will show us this man is dangerous and crazy, and if we don't get rid of him, all our lives are at stake. Are we in risk? Are we in danger? He's saying no. So many people are out there. There are people out there who know just how crazy he is. I mean, even Mitch McConnell knows how crazy he is. And they have put little guard posts, people who are silently watching. They could be anybody, staff, and, kitchen staff. It could be anyone who are there just watching to make sure that he doesn't do anything totally crazy. Who are these people working for? I mean, who's managing them? Republicans. So Republicans have actually sent their people in to make sure of what he's going to do, because if they don't, they're going to be blindsided themselves. And so they also do really want to make sure he doesn't do anything so crazy that, it kills us all. So those people are key, and I've seen the image of a key. They are key. They really are preventing him from doing more harm. And, I mean, while many people might criticize those people and say, hey, just leave, let's leave the White House and just let him do his crazy, stupid things on his own, what those people don't understand is there are others who are crazy enough to replace them and not say anything. There really are. Look at Trump. He's picked people to lead host of organizations that destroy those organizations, and he really would put those people in positions because he absolutely just does not care. And that's just what Flynn is giving to me mostly. He does not care. He just doesn't care. He really is just an incredibly selfish person. He would take down our entire nation for himself, and that's what he would have done already if certain people hadn't been in certain places to stop him. One thing that people seem to be overlooking is there are a host of witnesses we don't know about. There are former conservative Republican lawyers who used to work for Trump that have testified before Mueller. John Kelly went and talked to Mueller. We're seeing a tip of a very small iceberg, and the Republicans are still Trump supporters are still trying to justify him. But they are underestimating the sheer volume from supporters of Trump that have proven that he is a criminal. And, what about McGahn? They seem to think that his testimony is also somehow going to be Hillary Clinton? Do they really think that John Kelly is, out to support Hillary Clinton, out to get Trump? I mean, there are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who are ready to tell this story and who will once it all comes crashing down. And so it's not going to be about Democrats telling the truth. It's going to be about Republicans telling the truth to Republicans. And they're going to have to decide, well, do I believe my other members of my party who seem to be telling the truth? Or do I believe this crazy person who is driving this country through a whirlwind of trauma and danger and economic instability and political madness? Yeah, it's awful. It is quite awful for him to watch this happen. He's never been spoken to like that by anyone. And he had to stand there and take it. And, it kind of affected his politics a little bit to be screamed at by a madman and understand that, in a way, he is the head of a corporation. Lots of people are treated like this by corporations, and they have to sit there and take it. It's not a question of just going out and getting a job. The humiliation that you have to experience is something that he never experienced before. And kind of in that moment, he realized, wow, lots of people go through this every single day just to keep a job. Where are my priorities? So he is kind of depressed and angry because of what's going on. His mind is changing, and I think that this is a very good thing. There is no way that Trump will be impeached if a whole body of Republicans do not want that impeachment, right? It's very frustrating for all the rest of us because, how do you convince the people that the earth is round and not flat? How do you convince them of that? And he's just like, that's my job. That's my job. You can't let me... It's incredible that you would say that as a man who served in Iraq and is, served with distinction for decades, and the FBI is somehow on Hillary's team, right? Even though he's a Republican. How many times have they done that? And it's worked to some degree, but it won't work forever. And one of the key figures for whom it will not work is John Kelly, because he stuck around for a year and managed all this stuff. That's one of the things that it'll be harder and harder for Republicans to deny it, because this information is coming from a Republican. So again, are you really going to last a month and a half? He's like, yeah, just barely might go last a month and a half. And I will, the minute I leave, I will start working for his removal, because he's a very dangerous man. Now, again, he's saying, don't worry, we have him neutralized. It's more of a psychological danger right now to the nation than a physical danger. But we are not getting ahead as a nation. We're not competing well in the world because we're very busy arguing these, whether it's okay for a felon to be a president. We're really actually having a preposterous argument with some Trump supporters. And that is very psychologically damaging, right? Because the values that we once espoused are clearly no longer held by political people. But it's not a physical danger yet. This is in some ways the best way that he can get out of here, is if I leave and I start telling the truth. Yeah, he has regret. He is a person who has changed his mind. And in a way, let's hope that he is almost like a bellwether for all Republicans. Come to the table like, well, let's see what we can get out of this, and walk out saying, you know what, it's totally unethical what he's doing, and this is sort of been exposed. It's like you can't deny it anymore when somebody's screaming at you and you've served your country and he hasn't, and they're speaking to you in the way it becomes very, very obvious, like what kind of person that man is. What a selfish, useless, moron we have there. And lots of these guys are talking to each other, like Tillinger. They are talking to each other, and they're ready to almost like collectively go to, Fox News and sit on Fox News and say the truth, right? They are like, we hit the final wall. There is nothing redeeming about this president, and we must remove him. It's very interesting because in this sense, it feels like a Republican thing, and not just any Republican. Powerful, conservative Republicans seem like him to want him out, and they're no longer willing to cover for him. All right. Thanks for watching.